Healthcare reform at a standstill after yesterday's Republican win in the Massachusetts Senate.
And the victory affects folks right here in the Wabash Valley. News 10's Jessica Hayes explains. Republican Scott Brown's Senate win in Massachusetts is a huge obstacle for Democrats pushing for health care reform. Democrats no longer have the majority they need to pass health care on their own. Senate Democrats are now one vote short of the 60 needed to pass health care legislation.
Scott Brown's win on health care is it gives the Republicans a 41st seat in the Senate, which gives them the ability to filibuster the health care bill.
Legislation that affects folks right here in the Wabash Valley. And even though voters were in Massachusetts, experts say their sentiment represents the nation.
Democrats should win Massachusetts elections by a landslide, and they lost on that. In essence, if they can't win in Massachusetts, can they really win in Indiana?
And politicians should take note.
The open question on this is how Democratic leaders are going to interpret this. I'm particularly thinking of Blue Dog Democrats, Brad Ellsworth, Evan Bayh, wanting to step back and say, wait a minute, this looks troubling to us, this looks politically dangerous, we need to rethink this.
Democrats fast-tracking the legislation before the newly elected senator's vote counts seems unlikely.
They could delay it, or they could conceivably try to push through the legislation prior to him being seated, but that is a very politically dangerous move to make, because that would really look like the people of Massachusetts voted, they said they didn't like it, but we're going to try to push this through before you get your guy seated. It's an incredibly risky strategy.
On Wednesday, Obama said Congress must wait for Senator-elect Brown to be sworn in before health care legislation moves forward. It could take up to 2 weeks before Scott Brown is sworn in, and Brown is a strong opponent of the proposed health care bills. Back to you.
Thank you, Jessica.